And welcome back, everyone, to race day here in Baku, home of the wildest street circuit on the Formula One calendar. This is a track that gave us unforgettable chaos, cars bouncing off walls, rivals crashing, and even Sebastian Vettel giving Lewis Hamilton a little love tap back in 2017. Baku has a reputation. If Monaco is the jewel of F1, then Baku is the diamond with sharp edges. The drama race itself here, long straights, tight castle turns, and plenty of chances for heartbreak. Will we get a calm tactical race, or another dose of Baku madness where anything can happen, and it usually does? On today's episode, we have Amy, Megan, myself, Melissa, and Chelsea behind the scenes. So buckle up because the streets of Azerbaijan are ready to deliver.
Hi, besties. I am back yet again with our turn by turn segment where I yap for however long it takes me to get through all of the track changes. The last few races have had very short lists for track changes. I wouldn't necessarily call this a total laundry list, but it is indeed more than 2 bullets this time. So here we go. There are a few resurfacing patchworks that were done from turn 2 to turn 3. They mainly did that on the left-hand side before turn 4 on the left-hand side, between turn 7 and turn 8 on the left-hand side, turn 14 on, yep, you guessed it, the left-hand side, between turn 14 and turn 15 on the left-hand side, turn 18 on the left-hand side, and realignment of the tech crow barrier at the exit of turn 1 on, nope, not the left-hand side, the right-hand side, y'all. We do have to talk about some pre-race fun because Baku really gave us some just like cute wholesomeness to start off the race weekend. And they started off really strong with the Paddock cat. If you missed it on social media, there was this cat that was just all over the paddock. It was kind of iconic because they tried to have the cat removed and he came right back.
Twice. As he should. As he
iconic,
should.
as I said.
I was thinking whoever is like in charge of the track at Baku should just adopt him as the paddock cat like they did with Formulino at Imola. But since I've made that little bullet note, it has come to my attention that the cat has been given the paddock name and a pass. His name is Ferrari. Like I cannot Ferrari. Like I should have named my cat that. I'm sorry.
Oh, that would have been that was such a missed opportunity. But yes, for people can't who don't necessarily get what Mel is saying, it's F-U-R-R instead of Ferrari, like the cars.
Fur, yeah.
It's so cute. I love it. I love a punny F1 pet name.
Mm-hmm.
The people who come up with it are honestly iconic. I mean, there's Oscar Piastri. That is so cute. I love it. I love this. Fun fact, there are actually multiple cats on the circuit. If you are like me and you follow the F1 Paddock Club on Instagram, they made this adorable little Cats of Baku carousel on their Instagram, and there are like a bunch, and they're just so cute, and
I check that out later.
Want them all. And I'm not even like a cat person, but oh my god, the cuteness is unreal.
I need to check that out.
Oh yeah, I'm surprised I didn't send it to you. I know I sent it to Rachel because
I am a new
the girl
cat
has
person.
3 cats. So like she gets all the like cat things that I see that have to do with F1 because she's our crazy cat girl. But I have to start adding you to that rotation.
Yep.
Sorry, bestie. We also, coming into this weekend, had some what I would deem wildly iconic news, and that is the fact that 28-year-old Swiss racing driver Laura Villar is supposedly running for FIA presidency, making her the first woman in history to run for the position, though at the time I saw everything, she hadn't actually submitted an official bid to run for the position, and there is a deadline to do that. As of the time that we are recording this episode, I still don't know for sure if she submitted an actual bid with all of the right things that she needs on what to run, like what she's running on for a platform and all of that, and what her goals are with her kind of position. But if she did indeed submit a bid, I do think it's kind of iconic to be able to say that we will at least have witnessed a woman running for FIA presidency. Whether she gets the role is going to be a different question. But again, as of the time that we are recording this episode, Sunday, September 21st, I have not seen an official bid from Laura Villar.
I think it'd be cool to have a woman FIA president.
I think it would be really iconic. Obviously, the fact that she is a racing driver herself is super important. But I am a little apprehensive that I hadn't seen a bid before it was all over social media.
Yeah, that's true.
And there wasn't one that followed shortly after it, which is kind of like, was this all a PR move? Was this not? Like, it's a little weird to me that, like, there was all of this uproar in the media about it. Not uproar, but all of this noise about it in the media, and she hadn't already submitted a bid or didn't have it ready to go.
Yeah.
Because, again, there is a deadline to submit all of that. So, we'll find out.
We will see. We will see. It would just be cool to see some female representation in the sport. I think this would be a stellar start, to say the least. Now, F1 has released a tracks that will be having sprint races next year. I'm interested in everyone's opinion on this because I have some thoughts on it. So, of course, we have Shanghai in China. Normal. We've had that before. Miami, Florida. Of course, we've had that too. Now, the next ones, I don't think they've had any recently since I've been a fan for the past few years. So we have Montreal in Canada, Silverstone in Great Britain, Zandvoort in the Netherlands, and finally Marina Bay in Singapore. Now, it's the last two spots that have me with a lot of question marks around my head, especially Singapore, because what do you mean a sprint race in the middle of the day in that humid heat? Like, poor drivers.
I was just about to say, the temperature is already unbearable enough in Singapore. Like, wasn't Qatar, it was Qatar when they still had the sprint race there, right?
Yeah.
That's the year that it, like, was totally
when everyone
terrible.
Like, grew up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shouldn't we be looking at that, like, for this, right?
Yeah,
but
you
would think.
You think.
But I don't know. I'm actually going to Silverstone again next year, so I'm going to witness the sprint race there, which will be, I don't know. I think that'll be very interesting. I feel like if there were a weekend to do a sprint race, I guess Silverstone does make sense because it is one of the, like,
iconic tracks.
Most iconic tracks. Every team knows Silverstone like the back of their hand, so it's not like they need the most amount of prep there. So that one makes sense. Zandvoort, that's another weird one. I guess it's because it's the last year they're doing it.
I kind of like the idea of Zandvoort for a sprint, because I feel like Zandvoort always gives us something interesting every race. And I think for a sprint format, I think it could give us maximum chaos, potentially, especially with, like, the banking on the track and all of that. I have to agree with both of you. I think Singapore for a sprint is borderline diabolical, because, like, what do you mean you want these guys doing however many laps in the middle of the day? There's a reason you guys made it a night race. It's so hot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it.
What happened to Austria? Like, I feel like that's another, like, simple, easy track where if you really want to do a sprint race, like, do it there.
I don't think it makes an interesting sprint race.
That's true.
They should have just kept it Brazil.
They should have.
I'm just glad I get to see that when I go, like, in the month.
You're gonna get an exciting Sao Paulo GP with everything happening.
Yeah, I'm excited.
But also, Canada really is another interesting one. I feel like that's another one where kind of like why? Like, I feel like the race itself is almost interesting enough where, I don't know, that's another one that makes no sense to me. Out of the, 25 races we're going to have.
And it's just like...
Well, what I think is really interesting is that they also took out the sprint race at Austin.
Oh, yeah.
They've always had a sprint at COTA, at least the last 2 years, I think.
Yeah. And Miami has always had it since the start of Miami.
Yeah. I think the fact that they took out Miami is very interesting to me, at least.
You mean COTA?
Or took out, yeah. I think it's really interesting that they took out Austin because I feel like that's a really popular race for fans.
Yeah. Especially US fans too.
Obviously, we don't know I can't remember at least all of the attendee numbers for these races this season so far. For the ones that have happened, of course, we obviously haven't had Singapore, but maybe these are tracks that had a lot of physical attendees the last 2 years, and so they thought it made sense to make them sprint locations. That could be possibly part of the reason. I don't know. I'm spitballing here, y'all.
Yeah. I would like to know the logistics too behind it. Because now I'm just curious about it.
Like I said, the only new ones that I fully understand are Silverstone and Zandvoort. Zandvoort because it's its last year, and Silverstone just because it's Silverstone, and it makes perfect sense.
We shall see then how it goes. I'm just interested. Singapore's just going to be crazy.
It's going to be a shit show.
Literally.
Oh, absolutely madness.
Very, very. Now, we can talk about our opinions on the sprint weekends because they're always a hot topic, especially with the format of said sprint weekends, because we all know I feel a type of way about just a singular practice session. But we got to go into the meat and bones of the weekend, and of course, we're going to start off with FP1. Now, in FP1, Oscar was having power unit issues and had to wait in the garage during the practice session for a bit before going out on the track. And the exit curb at turn 16 was damaged and had to go through a lengthy full circuit inspection before resuming the practice session. I couldn't imagine just sitting there, just waiting for an inspection to go through. Who knows what happened with the damage and everything, but they got to do what they got to do to ensure the safety of these drivers, right? But
it's giving Vegas.
It is.
Not the manhole covers.
Not the manhole, not the Vegas lights and everything. I still think that sphere is like so distracting. It's crazy. Now, your top three going into FP1, we have Lando in P1, Oscar in P2, and Charles in P3.
And by the end of FP1, your bottom five was Ollie, Lance, Esteban, Franco, and Pierre.
Now, going into FP2, not much happened, but the biggest thing was that it was just a rough overall session for the McLarens as Lando missed the second half after collision with the wall, causing damage to his car, and Oscar also hit the wall, but he luckily had no damage to his car.
By the end of FP2, your top three was Lewis in P1, Charles in P2, and George in P3.
And the bottom five, we had Pierre, Lance, Nico, Fernando, and Franco. Now, FP3 and overall Saturday, there was just windy conditions ahead of the final practice of the session, which we'll get into more how it affected the quali session because wind does come into play a lot.
I feel like Baku is a circuit that is for sure to always be kind of breezy and windy. It's just like the nature of the location and where the circuit is and everything like that.
Especially like with the structure of like the city, like the wind has nowhere else to go to.
Yeah. And it's right on the Caspian Sea.
Yes.
Well, and then there are sections of the track that, like, because of the apartment buildings, it like makes wind tunnels and stuff. It's so crazy I would love to fully like have somebody explain to me like how you do your strategy for a circuit like that, where like you don't know where you're going to get a tailwind and where you're not. That's just so crazy to me. But y'all know we love fun facts here on this podcast, and I have more of like a fun fact / in case you missed it moment from FP3. So like in case you missed it, people, apparently Franco Colapinto hit an apple, some sort of fruit, supposedly, that fell from a tree. That was according to a radio message from his race engineer. That definitely was not on my bingo card at all, y'all. We've seen animals on track. We've had people hit animals on track. I don't think I've ever seen like fruit falling from a tree on a racetrack.
That's very random.
It kind of was like, okay, if this was a banana, it'd be Mario Kart. Not that I'm complaining. I'm a millennial. I love me some Mario Kart. But like, the heck? I don't know. It didn't make sense. I did not see that coming. It gave me a fantastic laugh.
The apple was not going to even give him a speed boost anyways, like in Mario Kart, so that's funny. I'm just like, where did it hit him? Like his car, like his helmet, like I wonder.
think it hit the front wing of the car.
Oh God.
Like you could see it.
That's crazy.
You very fully saw the visual of it falling from the sky.
I bet you that track, they're going to be like figuring out which tree it was and try like get that tree moved somewhere else to not have it happen again. I wouldn't be surprised if they do that. It's like a safety thing when you think about it too, especially with how fast the cars are going and all. So, but your top 3 into the last practice session, we had Lando in P1, Max P2, and Oscar P3.
By the end of FP3, your bottom 5 was Yuki, Esteban, Gabriel, Pierre, and Lance.
Now, going into quali, the windy day just continued, and honestly, it definitely made things a lot more interesting with how the strategies were coming into play and how we would get our grid results going into race day. Now, we had our first yellow flag of the session that quickly turned into a red flag because Alex found himself in the wall with damage to his car.
I was actually so, sad and frustrated for him because I felt that this was going to be a good weekend for Williams, given, the track conditions and the downforce and the temperature. And to see that happen, I was just kind of no. Yeah, it was frustrating.
Honestly, it had me shaking my head quite a bit. I didn't see that coming from Alex at minimum. I really was hoping to just see Williams do well.
Yeah. No, I agree. And it's just literally the front left wheel on his car just literally kissed the wall, and that caused said damage to it. Now, the craziness just was starting off for the weekend because we then had Esteban over his radio complaining about a branch in his car, in the rear part of said car.
And it was crazy because you could actually kind of hear it stuck. When they kind of went back and listened to his onboard to see if you could hear it, you could hear something dragging. I don't know. It was just
something that didn't sound like metal dragging
should not
on
be there.
Road.
Yeah. Once again, another weird incident from trees this weekend.
Honestly, for me, I think my favorite thing was the shot to the fans in the stands and seeing all the flags that they had and seeing just how fast they were going with the wind and how wild they were whipping. It's by far one of my favorite things when they give us a shot like that because it really gives you a really strong idea of just how windy it is or how not windy it is. Sometimes it's really cool because you see that the flags are literally just perfectly still. Sometimes they're going absolutely wild. And this was definitely the latter of those situations. You're looking at her are you done?
Yeah, she's whining over here. No, Lexi, can you lay down like your sister, please? I'll give you a treat later.
We love you, podcast producer.
She's like, I gotta make sure you guys are doing okay, all right?
She is our little podcast producer.
She is. It's okay. Now, Kimmy was noted for a yellow flag infringement, which eventually was going to be like investigated after the session. And then another red flag was out with Nico finding himself in the walls with front damage to his front wing, but he somehow, with the grace of God, made it back to the pits for a new front wing. It's insane because, like, I don't know. I probably would have been like, you know what? I'm out. Like, just put me where you're at. I'm not going to even try it. But that's me. I am not an F1 driver. But Oscar did get very lucky with finishing his lap right before the flags came out, like the yellow and the red flag, because if he was still like a little bit like ways away before like the finish line and everything, like he would have had to just like I forgot what the term is, but like just not complete like his fast lap.
Yeah, he would have
aborted.
had a set
thank
lap
you,
time.
Meg. Yeah, he would have aborted like his lap time or his fast lap. But Kimmy. He had a time lapse deletion.
I swear to God, Kimmy and Baku like don't seem to be getting along. I
At all.
don't know. I don't know if maybe it's just that like he's a rookie and like Baku's a little intimidating, but I think they raced Baku in F2. So
That's what I was
like
wondering.
I don't understand, and I don't think I can't actually remember if he got to race Baku when he was in F2 or if there were any issues for him. But, like, in theory, he's raced the circuit, so I don't really know what was going on, but things were not gelling the way they should have for him, and I felt really bad.
It's Umbreon this time. Child, sweet child of mine. Okay, she's done. Okay. Sorry, Chelsea. Now, this is going to turn into when we mention a yellow or red flag, take a shot or take a sip of water for those that are under 21 and not drinking for whatever other reason, please.
Tally at minimum.
Yeah.
Like, something.
Please.
Because I beg of you.
Yeah, literally. It's insane. It's insane. Because we had a yellow flag out literally at the last 5 seconds. I looked literally when they're like, oh, like yellow flag, and I looked at said 5 seconds, turned red because Pierre found himself in the barriers. Now I was dying because he was like doing some kind of like turn, but the commentators during the quali session said it's a 10-point turn for Pierre. And I lost it because you know what, Pierre? Same girly pop, same.
Sometimes you just gotta. Sometimes it's your only option.
Especially, like, with the car in, like, the space, like, a 3-point turn's not enough. So, like, I get it. Like, not...
Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, exactly. And then the Alpine struggles just continue because Franco also crashed near Pierre right at the end, like literally like probably like not a few feet, but like a good amount of feet away from Pierre. And all I have to say is poor Alpine boys, because like what was in the water for them this weekend.
It was the way the F1 TV team panned so quickly to Flavio Briatore's face for me. That man's is so stressed. But like I also am now kind of wondering if this is going to make a better case for Paul Aaron in the car for 2026. Please, I would love that. You will hear me say Paul Aaron for Alpine 2026 a million times till I'm blue in the face because I love Paul so much.
I swear that Flavio mouthed, like, I swear he said, like, he's done after that crash. Like, I'm pretty positive, or something similar. I don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, I feel like Paul should get a chance, personally. I mean, because Franco, like, love him, but he's just not performing, and poor Jack wasn't performing, and he got axed, so, like...
Fair is fair.
Fair is fair.
But
No, I agree.
But also, like, where's the girl who lip reads on TikTok? And, like, can we get her that clip to be like, what did he say?
Let's slide into her DMs real quick.
What did he say? We want to know. We're nosy over here.
Let us know.
I mean, we're going to find out at some point because, as Flavio said, he plans to make his decision at some time in October. And we're already in mid to late September.
October is like 9 days away, so.
It's coming up. I don't know. We'll find out. But I am personally pulling for Paul. Well, only time is going to tell y'all. At the end of Q1, we lost Franco, Nico, Esteban, Pierre, and Alex.
Now, going into Q2, the session was delayed because they had to fix the barriers where the Alpine boys decided to have a little fun with them. And Ollie has damage to his car. Another red flag is out.
Oh, Ollie, baby. I feel like I need to start... Like, when we were watching Quali, I literally wrote, I feel like I need to start a red flag tally for this weekend. And I fear I may have unintentionally jinxed the weekend when I did that. I don't know. If I did, I'm sorry, people. But, like, hey, it made for a fun weekend. This tailwind, though, that they were experiencing during Quali was for sure messing with people because... It just, like, seemed like it was so totally catching people off guard. Ollie's radio message where he said, so stupid, just really hurt my heart because he sounded so disappointed with himself.
Yeah, I feel bad when they say stuff like that over the radio.
I mean, poor Ollie. And he was already under enough pressure going into this weekend, given penalty points and everything. But, like, after seeing that crash again, he barely, like, I wouldn't even call it a crash, because he just barely scraped the wall. And the fact that he had damage, like, significant amount of damage to, like, make him stop the car, I don't really understand. You know? Like, it was like a kiss. I don't know. I was confused, because I saw it and I was like, why is he stopping? Like, he didn't even hit it that hard.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess that's Haas. It doesn't make sense.
Do they ever make sense if we're being honest?
No.
No,
they never do. Now, the Ferrari pain begins because Charles was noted for a yellow flag infringement. Casual, very. And then he loses it at the restart of the session, like at a corner or something like that. And Lewis was behind him, so Lewis had to abort his lap again. Ugh. Not good times in House Ferrari for us to foresee just seeing all that happen, because they were having a good, like, start to the weekend with their practice sessions, like always being like within like the top 3 or the top 5. And then I just side in Ferrari big time because Charles had a lap time deleted. Pain.
Out at the end of Q2 was Fernando, Lewis, Gabrielle, Lance, and Ollie.
Now, I do want to share, if you guys remembered Chris, he is a big Lewis fan, and he turned off the TV because he was upset about Lewis getting knocked out in Q2.
The most Chris thing ever.
Yes. I woke up later after the quali session because it was an ungodly hour, and I was like, how did it go? He was like, I don't know, I turned it off after Lewis got knocked out. Valid
As hell.
Yeah.
I mean,
I would do the same thing for Lando. Like, I turned off Zandvoort after he had the issue. I was like, I can't watch this anymore.
I know a lot of people who will stop quali. Heck, I've met people who will stop a whole race if their favorite driver is out.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. I totally get it. I just am someone that, like, I love watching F1 just simply because I like watching F1. And
I will see you through too, yeah.
all of my favorite drivers could be out, and I am still going to be sat in front of my television, glued to that screen. I can't help myself. It's just how it is.
It is. It's like a bad accent. You can't look away from it sometimes. That's really like a bad comparison, but you guys know what I mean. I just hear Migs giggle, and I'm like, you know what? I probably shouldn't have said that, but I did. Now,
but you're not wrong.
I know.
It's
No,
like everyone stops and looks at
lie?
the highway.
I didn't lie, so.
You're honest.
Now, going into Q3, as if the windy weather was not helping our poor drivers, Max was reporting of rain coming down during the last 7-ish minutes of the session. Now, this is where I was about to pull a Chris and just turn off the TV, but I couldn't for the sake of the pod. Charles finds himself in the wall. After a 4-year back-to-back streak of poles, his streak ends, and a red flag is out.
I can't lie, y'all. I audibly gasped when I saw him in that wall. I am not even that much of a Ferrari girl, even though I am an Italian American. I was in pain. I'm so sorry, Ferrari fans. Y'all
It's been a rough season.
have no luck.
It's been a rough season. We'll be
I
back
didn't mean
next
to
year.
laugh.
We'll be back next year.
I hope so for your sake.
Oh god.
Seriously.
I'm just gonna send them my therapy bills and everything at some point. And be like, hello, here you go. Now, what killed me though is after this incident with Charles happened, with the commentators, I don't know who it is, I never catch their names, but someone in the commentating, the international channel F1 TV was like, when Baku bites, it bites hard, and all I want to say is word to Umbreon because she feels the same way.
I feel so bad for Charles because I feel like Baku, he just, I don't know why. Except for a couple times, I feel like Baku just isn't nice to him. And he's put it in the wall before. There, we all know the famous castle incident.
I am stupid.
Yep. But I felt bad for him. I really wanted, him and Lewis, to be completely honest with you, to have a good weekend because they were looking to have a good weekend throughout the practice sessions, and then the shit show of qualifying happened, and here we are.
Here we are indeed. And now, at this point, if you're watching Quali Live, you would see that Carlos from Williams, in a damn Williams, was in provisional pole position at this moment of the session. And he was asking for a literal rain dance. Because, who doesn't love driving in the rain? I don't, but I guess they do.
Well, I think he more was hoping for rain because it would screw everybody else up.
As it has been already, and the wind.
Yeah, I don't blame him at all. I'm a hell yes to praying for a rain dance or asking for a rain dance when necessary. If you missed it, he also got sent this adorable little, Carlos Sainz 55 chili custom unicorn sticker
I
from
love
Fan.
that.
And he added it to his helmet. I swear, Sparkles/Sprinkles, because he was asked to help pick a name, gave him extra speed and luck. It's the cutest thing I've ever seen.
Big fan.
It's the cutest video, too, if you've seen the video. And, there's a video
yes, if
out
you know,
from...
you know.
There's a video out of the girl reacting to qualifying, too. It is the cutest thing. It's worth it. He's not allowed to take that sticker off of his helmet.
It has to stay for the rest of the season, at minimum.
It has to. And also, by this point, he was also doing the rain dance because the only people that had set a lap time were him, Liam, and Isaac. Everyone else in the top 10 had yet to set a time. So,
yeah, okay.
I was here for it.
We all
I was
are.
here for it.
As I said, I love a rain dance. Bring it on.
Now, poor Kimmy and his bad luck this weekend because he was noted for a red flag infringement. And then, again, another red flag was out literally at the last 3 minutes because who finds himself in the walls this time? Oscar.
I literally almost dropped my very, very, very full iced coffee. That looked rough.
Extremely.
I was half asleep, because by this point we were probably, an hour and 50 minutes into qualifying. and it was early. So I was like, oh my god, is this ever going to end? I do not want to see another
like
red
torture.
flag. Literally, I was like, for the driver's sake and for our sake, I didn't want anyone else to crash. And then freaking Oscar crashes. I was like, what in the actual hell is going on here? Because he's been consistent every single weekend this season.
What
so,
the hell?
And that's coming from me, who y'all know I'm not the biggest fan of him, but he was the last person I expected to see in the wall, at least ever this season. But I also knew he has been on the struggle bus this weekend. It's not been an easy one for him.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm surprised, yes, but at the same time, no, because the conditions were rough and he was struggling already.
Yeah.
We had 6 red flags in this quali session, y'all. 6. That is wild to me.
It's crazy work.
6 of them.
Crazy.
I can't even process.
Crazy work. It's just insane. Now, Max was noted for a red flag infringement, but no further investigation took place. And Lando literally brushes the wall where Oscar crashed. And luckily for him, there was no, well, literally like little damage, but not anything significant that would tarnish
Not
his
enough.
time. Yeah.
Now, we did have back-to-back pole positions for Max Verstappen and the most pole positions of the season so far, at least.
It is
There are
Max.
still more races.
It is Max, so we have to wait and see what happens. And of course, Max, as mentioned, pole position P1, Carlos in P2, Liam P3, Kimi P4, P5 was George, P6 Yuki, P7 Lando, P8 Isaac, P9 Oscar, and Charles in P10. Now, for me, I was low-key hoping for Carlos pole because it would have been insane to see a Williams up there in P1, but still crazy work to see a front row start from a Williams. But it is Carlos, so like, I don't really expect less from him.
I think the craziest thing out of all of this entire quali weekend or quali session this weekend for me was the fact that quali itself took 2 hours.
It was forever.
That's 20 minutes longer than last year's Grand Prix took.
It was
My
forever.
iPad died.
Bonkers to me. Not the iPad.
It's never died during any sort of F1 thing. And it died.
It felt
I
very
was like,
long.
I was like, bruh, you've got like 5 minutes left. Hold on. Hold on.
Let me get the charger.
And it wouldn't hold on. But nah, all I can say is do.
Literally.
Max Verstappen. If you know,
You know.
Now, post quali was a little weird. My phone blew up with notifications because Esteban Ocon was referred to the stewards after failing a rear wing deflection test, and basically it meant that he was possibly going to get excluded from quali. I got a notification at 12:30 in the afternoon Eastern time with the news that he was disqualified from qualifying, and basically if he wanted to, the team was going to have to put in a request for him to be involved with quali, which they did do. They did also have to change his rear wing, but he was at least he got permission from the FIA to start the race, though he was going to be starting in 20th. Now, we do have to get into this race, but before we get into this race coverage, I do have to talk about how much I adored the trophy for this weekend. It is really cute. I love that F1 TV has started trying to give a little blurb of what's the story behind the trophy, and I like this one a lot because the trophy is meant to reflect the Azerbaijan name, which is the land of fire, and it's got a glowing red light in it that flickers like a flame. I just think that's really cool. I like the look of the trophy itself as well. Some of the trophies I feel like are hit or miss. This one was one that was definitely a hit in my book.
Monza.
We won't talk about that mess.
The IUD
Lord
looking trophy.
knows we have thoughts.
I said it. It's an IUD. They gave them an IUD as a reward.
Yep. Pretty much. You ain't wrong, girl. Now, lap 1 of this race had me so confused. I didn't even watch this live because it's a 7 a.m. start. I'm sorry, guys. I am not waking up at 7 a.m. on a Sunday. I've been up till like 3:30 in the morning reading. I was not waking up for a 7 a.m. race. I'm sorry.
I woke up.
There was no way.
I woke up. I knew soldiers.
I knew I didn't have it in me, so I just wasn't gonna try.
I'm committed to the bit.
I mean, I'm the same girl who will stay up to watch this like 3 a.m. races. So
I'll
like,
stay
I am
up,
also committed to the bit, but sometimes the like 6, 7 a.m. start times can just be hard depending on
I'm just not a morning person. That's all.
My day. Yes. But like lap 1 had me confused because how on earth did Oscar Piastri drop so fast and then lock up and put it in the wall, giving us his first DNF of the season? I'm sorry. I was so confused. My brain was not fully functioning when I started this race, people.
It was insane. But I do want to add, before we continue on this little Oscar tangent for a quick second, Carlos, Max, and Liam also had one hell of a start. Like, it was a clean start from, like, the top 3, and it was very entertaining, especially with, like, 2 midfield, like, bottom field teams up there fighting with Max. Like, I was here for it. Anyways, back to Oscar.
Like Mel said, back to Oscar. He actually dropped the clutch and triggered his anti-stall. I will bet you guys money that man is kicking himself for that. Because it was like a literal just human error. Yeah. It was nothing with the car. It was just he made a mistake. Yeah. Which is so not like Oscar.
Yeah. It was like, honestly, seeing him in the wall was crazy as it is, and knowing that like it was a human error on his end was even crazier. Like, and it's just odd. I felt like it was just really odd to see something like that happen to him, or him do something like that, because usually he's very like calm, cool, collective. So like, who knows? Maybe this is just not a good track for him or whatever. It is what it is.
I honestly wouldn't even say that, because he won the damn thing last year and had a mega race. Yeah. So, I mean, the commentators, I think, were saying how, like, I don't know. I don't think he's one to feel pressure, or maybe he does, but, like, he doesn't give it off because he's so just very much, like...
Yeah.
But,
Iceman.
Yeah, but maybe he was starting to feel the pressure this weekend from Lando, since Lando had been outperforming him all weekend. Mm-hmm. I think he was just nervous because, I mean, he hasn't started outside of the top, I think, 4 at all this year. And it's obviously a lot riskier starting further back in the grid. That's where crashes and accidents happen. And like you guys said, just so uncharacteristic of him. And like, I felt terrible because I want to see the championship like be an actual championship fight. I think like we all do. So it's not fun to see, but it also at the same time makes the championship interesting, because it not only brings in Lando closer, but it brings Max in closer as well.
Yeah, because he's been doing well the last few weeks too.
So yeah, I would consider this more of a 3-horse race now. You can never count Max out, especially since he's only, I think, 69 points back. So I don't know. It'll be interesting.
Indeed, it will. Now, Oscar and Fernando were both noted for a false start by the stewards, and they were each given 5-second penalties. Now, Fernando, when he was told of his penalty, he actually said over the radio he accepted it. He was well aware of what he did, but he also said that he was reacting to Oscar jump starting early. So it's just interesting to see like how that happens, and it causes like a whole domino effect down the grid.
I'm honestly surprised there weren't more. Like, because I feel like it's just their instinct. Like, the lights happen, but
seeing other cars go.
Yeah, especially the one right in front of you. Yeah. Like, you're going to be like, oh shit, I gotta go.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
think about how people are like any regular traffic light when you're driving your car.
You've
It's
seen
bound
people
to
like
happen.
see like you're at a red light and then like the left turns green. Like I've seen people like in my like in front of me at the red light like going down. Oh crap! Like that's not me because yeah.
Yep. So, around lap 17, we had contact between Alex Albon and Franco Colapinto, which just really had me shaking my head. It, to me, just kind of looked like a bit of a racing incident. Like they just touched tires. There was no damage for anybody. But Alex Albon still got smacked with a 10-second penalty for the contact. I personally don't totally agree with that, but the FIA is gonna FIA. What I did love during this race was we got some really fun little like midfield battles, and there was a great one with Kimmy and Liam for like a few laps around like lap 20 to like lap 22 or so. I like when they show us more than just your top 4 or 5.
Same. It's always the midfield battles I like a lot. Like just seeing like that fight for like the last few points in the top 10. Very entertaining.
And Kimmy really was putting in a lot of work during this race. He had a great overtake on Gabriel Bortoleto, and he really kind of was trying to hang on to fastest lap around lap 26. But, I mean, it's a 50-plus lap race, so that's kind of a hard thing to hold on to, you know?
The kid got his spark back for this race, that's for sure.
I think also it helps that, like, the car was good this weekend. Like, they actually had a good car underneath of him. And I think that also will help his spark and his attitude, because he can, like, he really needed that after the last couple of races, because I've just felt for the kid. Like, he had a lot of, I think we talked about this last episode I was on, but, like, he just had so much pressure on him coming into this season to be the next, like, Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton, and that's not what's happening
Toto
right now. Oh, I do too, because he's the one who put the pressure on him. But I think this weekend and what happened was good for him, whether, like, even though the car may have helped, especially because it was cooler, the downforce. Hopefully he can have more good races in the rest of the season. But yeah, it was good to see him kind of doing what he does best.
We did also get a sighting of everybody's favorite strategist, Carlos Sainz, in the car. I love it. It brings me so much joy. He was like so like focused on making sure that George was not going to be able to get an undercut. And I love when he plays strategist from the cockpit of the car. It's just iconic.
Carlos Sainz, driver, strategist, engineer, gray hair. What can't he do? Literally.
And he cooks? I mean, come on.
Pancakes. The fluffy pancakes.
Fluffy pancakes.
The fluffy pancakes.
That may or may not have given him appendicitis.
Hey, you know what? That's neither here or there because they're fluffy.
Yep. I need to try the recipe.
Yeah. Same.
What I will say is the fact that I am the biggest George Russell hater. Anybody who has listened to this podcast knows that I am not the biggest fan of George. But I was beyond impressed with George and his racing after dealing with having a respiratory infection at the start of the weekend. Like, sir, do less, but also please go get some friggin' rest after this race. I beg of you.
Yeah, I didn't know he was sick at the start of the weekend till like literally a few hours before recording. As Amy said, good for you. Impressive, crazy work from George, but like, please get rest. Like, thankfully, like, there's no race coming up this upcoming weekend, so at least like he can give his body like some break and everything like that. But God, now you guys know I love my Yuki. I'm not a big Jesus Christ, girlfriend.
I just saw her come flying down on you. What the hell was that?
Her.
My little boy.
I just saw her ass.
I saw. I didn't see her until she was like in motion, and I was like, "Oh, Jesus Christ!"
Yep, she's here. At least she didn't scratch me. I will take that.
Good work. Good work, Umbi.
Umbi.
You guys could see my legs right now.
Oh, Umbi.
Now, you guys know that I've been a big Yuki supporter into Red Bull, Yuki stan for a while. I don't like the team, but I love him. And seeing him in third, around like the 37th lap, it was making me Delulu. And we all know Delulu is a Salulu sometimes. And I was just wishing he could just stay up there because, God, that would have been such a good, like, ego boost for him and everything. Like, I just wanted him up there for, like, the rest of the race.
I wish I had a camera set up in my house so that people could get my reactions while I watch these races, because it was the way I was shaking my head and shouting at my TV watching McLaren with Lando Norris's pit stop, because, like, what the heck? First, it was the left front tire. Now, it's the right front tire. What's the problem, guys? Fix it.
Get it together.
All I can say is,
it's valid.
like, come on, people. Like, I think the 5 out of the 6 last races, Lando has not had a pit stop under 4 seconds.
I agree.
Like,
oh, God.
I'm sorry, but I think Max Futrell said it best. If it was a driver underperforming like this, there would be conversations.
They'd be sacked.
Mm-hmm.
They'd be sacked. Like, why is there no conversation? And the fact that even after the race, okay, I used to like Andrea Stella until this season, and his comments after the race to me were just not okay, and like not taking any accountability for the pit stop and saying that that's not what caused whatever happened to happen. And I'm like, okay, then how come after the race they did analysis and said that if Lando had an actual good pit stop, he would have finished the race between 3rd and 5th? Tell me. Let me know.
I mean,
'cause I know you can't, like, it's hard to predict that, but to take no accountability for that slow pit stop and just say, no, Lando finished where he deserved to finish. I'm sorry, but, like, just fix it. Like this, I'm convinced they just moved the guy to the right front from the left front. They said, oh, you can't do the left? Let's move to the right. Because, and it's only Lando. Like, why? This is the 5th time now. And it happens sometimes twice in a race with these slow stops. Mm-hmm. Like,
it gives me steak PTSD.
I'm like, did they sub in?
It's giving steak sour flashbacks.
These are people that have a world record for the fastest pit stop.
Yeah, I don't get it.
The same race they got that world record was one of Lando's slowest pit stops this season.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. Make it make sense, please and thank you. Like,
Meg's about to like fly out to like Great Britain and be like, not like.
I'm about to take the wheel myself. Like,
No, valid.
Pop off, girl.
Like, I know it. Don't get me wrong. I know it's a hard job. I know that, and I know how much the pit crew goes through. But
for this to happen consistency.
It's not the first or second time now.
Yeah.
Like, and it only happens with one car.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, you either need a refreshed training, or somebody needs a little bit of a leave to like maybe get their ish together. I don't know. But I feel like this race made both the World Drivers' Championship and the World Constructors' Championship so much more interesting now, because things are just like gonna really go later into the season, and I love that. I know that this race weekend for McLaren was something that they thought that they might be able to clinch constructors, but I kind of like that it's going to take them a little bit longer. I think it's just more interesting when the battle for both is a little bit tighter. I'm sorry, I know some people hate that, but like, we had how many seasons with Red Bull clinching it so early on in the season? I like that it's going longer. It's nice.
Same. I have to agree, because McLaren, from what I saw, they needed both drivers to finish either 1-2 or 1-3 to get the constructors. But now we will have to wait and see longer. And again, I'm not upset about that, because it just makes the rest of the season a lot more enjoyable. And Oscar's DNF, again, it makes it all spicier for the Drivers' Championship. And it's just nice because then it's like Max got it so early on, like the past few years, where it's like the rest of the racers are like, okay, now what? It just became like really predictable. But my little EDM heart, my little rave girl heart, I love that Martin Garrix was waving the checkered flag. That's all I want to say. I love seeing that kid and knowing that he's like really close with Max and Lando. Like, I love it. Big fan.
At the end of the race, your top three was Max in P1, George in P2, and Carlos in P3.
And the fastest lap, of course, was from Max. And he actually had a Grand Slam weekend. So he started from pole, led the race, fastest lap, and won said race. So Max, kudos to you. Now, I have to say, what a race from Carlos. I'm a Charles fan. I love Ferrari. But I've always been very critical of his decision. Yes, perfect timing. I love it. I was just like, what does that sound? What is she? Oh, exact. If you know, you know. Sing with us. I've been very critical about his move to Williams. So seeing him finish in the podium was really, I loved it for him. And seeing him run to his team in Parc Ferme, I think that's what it is, that little area once they, like, the drivers get out the car and everything. Like, that man was, like, running, like, full-on sprinting. Like, I loved it.
Absolutely hauling ass. Like, that man was just, like,
yep,
bucking it. He was like, I gotta get to my crew now.
Yeah, man on a mission.
My favorite thing was the fact that the DJ was blasting Smooth Operator. And I mean, like, blasting full volume, blasting it. It was adorable. But can we please make a petition for backwards hats on the podium, like always? Because thank you, Carlos Sainz. I don't think we've ever seen a driver put their Pirelli podium hat on backwards.
Lewis has done it.
I loved it.
Lewis has done it a few times, but I will make that petition as we speak, bestie.
I think he's done it, he switched it after podium celebration.
Yeah.
Carlos did this, like, the minute he got to put his hat back on after the anthems.
Love it. I'll make that petition for you. I got you.
I love it. Now, y'all know we love fun facts on this podcast. We probably drop one like every episode, I swear. But apparently, Carlos and Charles' flight back to France got diverted because of a storm or weather issues. So they ended up landing somewhere in the middle of Italy. And then it gets crazier. They then rented what looked to be a standard white van to drive from the middle of Italy to Monaco because their flight to France was not going to get there when it needed to. And Carlos said, it's a 2-hour drive, but they'll make it in an hour and a half. And low-key, he is a man after my own heart because that is exactly what I would have said myself.
The video's hilarious.
Yeah,
like seeing the video and just how giggly they're
just like two besties. I love it.
Well, and Carlos probably said he'll make that drive in under 2 hours because he's running on so much adrenaline.
Yeah.
Facts. But then I was like, I wonder who else has to do that because a lot of the drivers live in Monaco. So I was like, they should have all just rented one big bus and like
party bus, if you will.
Took it back
I don't know
to
if
Monaco.
any of them have the right license to drive a bus. Granted, I don't know what the licensings are like in Europe on if you need
That's
like
true.
a CDL to drive a bus.
They have enough money where they could hire a driver.
True. You
No big
got a
deal.
point there, girl.
They would figure it out. But supposedly Oscar doesn't have to serve his 5-second time penalty at Singapore, which I'm a little confused about because Lewis had to serve his time penalty at at Monza from Zandvoort. So I'm just a little confused.
So apparently, from what I heard, and I could be hearing wrong, you guys know me, I spell things wrong all the time. I put wrong names often in our notes. Meg knows. So what I heard the commentators explain, again, grain of salt over here. It was because he had DNF'd the race so early on, he doesn't have to serve the penalty. But again, it doesn't make sense. But we all know the FIA, the F1, all those rules, they will do what they want.
Yeah, Fiastri, as I've been seeing online.
Yeah, so it's just like, it's really weird. It's I don't know. But besties, we are heading to Singapore in 2 weeks, and it's time to get ready for a hot race weekend. And as for my predictions, not so hot. It is what it is. My top 3 I see are Max, Oscar, and Lando. I don't know which spots, but Max has been on fire since the end of summer break. Like, I gotta give it to him. And we all know the McLarens are on rocket ships. It is what it is. I'm a sad tifosi. I kind of just gave up the season. But I am hoping for a wildcard podium finish, like this weekend's finish with Carlos on the podium. So I'm always hoping for something like that.
Obviously, my predictions will surprise absolutely nobody. I, per usual, pulled out my pendulum. But I feel like my results are kind of interesting, kind of not at the same time. P1, I got George Russell, which, if Mercedes gets their car together, could work. But I have questions because it's Mercedes. P2, Max Verstappen, like Mel said, the man has been on one since coming back from the break, and I feel like he is just a man on a mission, and I love to see it. My P3 is one of my favorites, and that is Oscar Piastri. Again, like Mel said, McLaren has some rocket ships this year. So, like, this should, in theory, be very feasible. Plus, I feel like he may be out for blood because Baku did not go the way it was supposed to for him, I don't think.
Given the conditions at Singapore and Lando's absolute dominance last year at the race.
Yeah, that's true.
I have to say he's going to win it. I think he's going to want, similar to Oscar, redemption after the terrible weekend that as a team they had. Mm-hmm. Like everyone said, you can't count Max out, so I'm going to put him P2, although it is a fact that Red Bull does not normally run well at Singapore, so we shall see. And P3, I'm going George, because, I don't know, I just kind of, I want to see him on the podium again, and he should have been on the podium the year before last at Singapore before he crashed, so I kind of want him to get a moment there.
That would be nice. We'll see. I feel like Singapore is always a spicy race. I love a night race, so
yes, it's gonna be nice to have a night race.
I love Singapore.
I love Singapore is one of my favorite tracks. It's always fun to watch, so it will be a wild race no matter what. And to close out the episode, we have a driver of the week, and that is Carlos Chili Sainz, and by extension, Sparkles the unicorn, because Sparkles provided the extra magic. So,
shout out Sparkles.
Don't get rid of that sticker.
It is Carlos Sainz and Sparkles, and I think the little girl who made the sticker's name is Thea. So, yeah, they get driver of the week in my book, personally.
Agreed.
Same.
Thanks for hanging out in the paddock with us, besties. That's a wrap on our Baku recap. Really, though, who does not love to see F1's favorite smooth operator on the podium? Don't forget to follow us on socials. Everywhere we are at Paddock Girls Podcast. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. And you can catch the video version of the podcast over on YouTube for people who like to see videos with their podcast and you want to see our beautiful smiling faces. Come check us out on YouTube. Next up, we are switching lanes and heading back to book club. We will be speeding into For the Thrill of It All by Eliana Rose, story packed with family drama, F1 action, fake dating, and of course, real romance. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, we will see you on the next lap. Bye!
Bye!
That was a smooth operation. Smooth operation.